Alright, what up guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Welcome back to another story as well. Yeah, so I got another story for you, and I usually do it when I'm inside the crib, but this time we're gonna do it in the car because if you read the title, then you know what this is about. This is about my first DUI back in 2019. Before I start, shit, I didn't go through a bad experience, to be honest. I'm not gonna say I'm glad, but I'm kind of like not glad. I don't know what's the right word I'm trying to say. What's the right word I'm trying to say? Can you help me? Nah, I don't know, but I'm glad. Nah, I'm glad, but yeah, I guess that is the word. I guess that is the word. I'm glad that happened. Not glad like I wanted it to happen, but I'm glad it happened and it played out the way it played out. So we're gonna start from the very beginning, right? So I'm at work, and then a homie of mine at work tells me he invites me to a party. He invites me and my baby mother to a party. At first, I'm not with it. I'm trying to go home because I'm tired. But eventually I cave in. I'm like, fuck it. So yeah, we was at work, and then we got out of work like at what, 10 o'clock. He went home, changed. I went home, changed. Blah 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 blah. We meet up, head to the party. Now we at the party, and the party's insane, crazy, wild. Nah, I'm playing. Nah, it wasn't. It wasn't. Nah, it was a regular party. We went to a party, drinking like shit, doing other stuff I'm not gonna say on YouTube, but doing a lot of shit. And then the party's going on. At this point, it's probably like 2, 3 in the morning, and party's done. We leave. Let me tell you something about myself back then. I used to do this a lot back then. I don't do it no more because I ride with my kids now. So it's not just me I'm putting in danger. I'll be putting everybody else in danger that's in the car with me. But back then I would drive drunk constantly. Like it was like I didn't give a fuck. I was always driving drunk all the time. Like I lied you not, all the time I was driving drunk. And now that I rethink about, I'd be like, damn, how did you? And I never got caught. But back to the story, right? So I'm drunk as shit, but I'm drunk as shit at this point. But I'm still good to drive, or at least I thought I was. I always had that habit. I'm like, oh, I'm good to drive. Like I know my limit though too though. Like if I'm at the point when I'm driving and I gotta be driving with like one eye open to see, have a good view, then I'm drunk as fuck. I'll pull over. But if I'm still good, I feel like I'm still straight, then I'll drive. But anyway, like I said, it's 2 or 3 in the morning. We leave the party. I got the homies with me. I got my baby mother with me. I'm dropping them off. So I drop one homie off, and then I drop the other. So I asked him if he trying to smoke. Then that was, I think, where I messed up at. So I sparked up a J, cause I'm thinking it's gonna like ease the drunkenness down, and I'm gonna be good, even better to drive. But I should have known better. So I asked him, do you want me to spark a J? Do you want to spark a J before you go in the crib? So I sparked the J. We smoked it, boom. I even said I was good at a certain point. I even said keep the J, I'm good. So I drive off. It's just me and my baby mother. And I ain't even gonna lie to you. I think I blacked out like in 5 minutes of driving, 5 to 10 minutes of driving. I think I blacked out while I was on the wheel, because last thing I remember was me driving, and last thing I remember was me driving, and then I blacked out. And it's crazy because I could have blacked out and hit a kid or hit somebody in general, hit whoever, right? I mean, I don't know. It was like 3 in the morning. I don't know who the hell be out there. It don't be a lot of people out there that night. So it'd be some people, but it don't be like. So, but still though, who knows, right? Like it could be a wrong place, wrong time type of thing. So I just thankfully I didn't hit nobody. I didn't hurt myself. But so yeah, I blacked out while driving, and I wake up at 7 in the morning. 7 in the morning, I wake up. Well, I don't wake up. I get woken up. So at 7 in the morning, I'm asleep in the car. My baby mother is asleep on the passenger side. All I hear is, right? I'm waking up. Just picture me. I'm like this. probably got the seat back, and I'm like this, and I hear so I'm waking up. It's the fucking police. It is the police. Ain't nothing worse than waking up and seeing a fucking police uniform, a badge and shit. Huh? Cookie? We'll get some cookies. So, police, I wake up, I see the police, and then he's like, can you step out the vehicle? I'm like, all right, cool. I know, but before I step out, I waking my baby mother. I'm like, wake up. She wake up like, the fuck? So I step out the vehicle. And then I look at my car and I'm like, what the fuck? Guess what? It was parked on the sidewalk. It was parked on the sidewalk. Like, oh my God, I was so, I don't know how. And the crazy thing about it, it was perfectly parked on the sidewalk. Like, I think I'm gonna go and show you where I parked at. Right, I'm gonna show you where I parked at, but I was perfectly parked on the sidewalk. Like, I didn't scratch my car, I didn't leave a dent, I didn't fuck nothing up. The scratches I got in my car is from other shit, not from that. Bro, I was perfectly parked, and I'm looking in shock, like, what the fuck? Why is it parked on the sidewalk? Like in front of someone's home type shit, I think. We'll go back and see it. Yeah, it was because a lot of houses right there. I'll show you. So here's where it happened at. I was perfectly parked right here. Had us sitting on that curve when they caught us, but I was right here the whole time. Perfectly parked. Right here is where it was at. So, and he's like, sit on the curb. I sit on the curb. My baby mother get out. She sit on the curb with me. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, I'm just like, still like, how the fuck is this fucking car on the sidewalk? So then he's like, all right, so have you guys been drinking or some shit? Yeah, some shit. He was asking some shit. We like, nah, we wasn't drinking. I kept denying shit. So then eventually he tells me to take the test. He's like, this is determined, I guess. He said some shit. I don't want to say that he said something that he didn't, but he said some shit like, this will determine if this will determine something if you're drunk or some shit. He said something like that. So he did the little light thingy. I passed that, or I was good, I guess. And then he did the little walk test. Passed that. So I'm thinking I'm good. I'm like, yup, he ain't gonna say I'm drunk, blah, 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 blah. And then I was like, he told me to sit on the curb again. Then I'm like, so what's gonna happen? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, we'll be arresting you today. And I'm like, oh my God. And I'm like, why? And then I'm like, I thought I passed everything. Like, I'm good. He's like, that test is just, he said, again, I don't want to put no words in his mouth, but he said something like, that test is, like, it does, basically he said it don't count. They just do it just cause. That's what he told me. So I'm like, oh my God. So it's mine just like 7 in the morning. And I'm like, damn, I'm about to get arrested. I think I had to go to work at like fucking 3 in the afternoon, you know. But it was in DC, so you know, that shit's pretty, you know, quick, little 4-6 hours depending. Not like in Maryland, that's all you be in it on like 2 days trying to get out. But yeah. What was that? What the fuck was that? Oh yeah, so he's like, we're about to arrest you. I'm like, alright, fuck it. Oh, so they take out fucking, here's the crazy part, right? I had an open container on my baby mother's side of the door, and on my side of the door, they found fucking empty liquor bottles. So they thought I was probably twisted, but those were from like back in the day. I just ain't cleaned them yet. So he found all that shit. So they arrested me. So yeah, they found all that shit. They arrested me. They take me, I don't know what district that is, but they took me to the one on the Ave, on Georgia Avenue. They took me right there. I get arrested, whatever they arrest me, they take me right there. So I'm right there, I'm just like, fuck. So I'm just in there, in the little holding cell, just like thinking like, fuck, why the fuck did I go out last night? Like, I should have just stayed home. I should have just stayed home like how I wanted to. But I'm like, fuck it. We'll see what happens. So I'm in the police station. I'm in the cell or whatever, in the holding cell, and then I can hear. I didn't know that like the other side was the girl's side, the women's. I didn't know the other side was the women's side. So all I hear is an officer telling somebody, I don't know who it is at first, he's like, your boyfriend's on the other side. So I'm like, and then I could kind of hear, but I'm like, I could kind of hear, but I'm not sure if it's her. So I'm just in there like, hold up, did she get arrested too? I'm like, hold up, did she get arrested too? I'm in the cell like, hold up, I'm like, so I yell out her name, you know, and I don't, because I'm like, I don't want to look stupid, just yelling out, looking crazy, just yelling out her name. Let me know who the fuck are you talking to? So I'm like, Cindy, right? And all I hear is, yes, babe, like they've been crying or something. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm yelling out throughout the thing. We're talking back and forth. I'm like, what the fuck? We start talking back and forth, and I'm like, what the fuck? Why they lock you up? And she's like, for the open containers and for other reason too, for another reason too. And then I'm like, what the fuck? And she's like, yeah, like I told them, I told them they were mine, so they had to arrest me too. And cause she had caught a DUI before that, like 4 months before that, 5 months before that. So she was on probation for that. So we'll get to that. So she was like, yeah, they arrested her for the open container, and I'm like, what the fuck? So we're talking back and forth, man. We're like, man, what you think's gonna happen? Like, I'm like, and the shit, like, I don't know. She's like, what do you think gonna happen? Are you gonna get out? Are we getting out? I'm like, oh shit. And she's like, I don't think I'm getting out. And I'm like, fuck. So it's like 4 hours. It's like 12 o'clock at this point. They come get me. They say, yeah, we're releasing you. They already had done everything at this point. They already had like took my mugshot and fingerprinted me and did all this other, you know. Oh no, but before that, let me say before I get out. So before my baby mother gets in, before I realized she was there, they had me in the they talked to me before they put me in the holding cell. Right? This cop was a dick. I forgot his name, but he was a cold asshole, man. I ain't fuck with him. So he's like. I don't know, but he was just like everything. I don't know. I just felt like, you know, like, I don't know. He was just he gave me bad vibes, right? So he tells me about the breathalyzer. He's like, do you want to say, like, he asked me, he like, do you want us to breathalyze you today or something like that, right? No, and he asks me. So I'm in there and he asks me, do you want to take the breathalyzer test? And then I'm like, do I have a choice? Like, before that, I thought you had to do it. Like, I thought, like, if they pour that out, you better blow. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I always thought. So I didn't get smart, but I told him, like, do I have a choice? And he's like, you have a choice. You can decline right now, and such is gonna happen, or you can take it. And I'm like, oh, so I'm like, you know, so I'm like, oh, so I have an option. So I'm like, nah, I don't want to take it then. Fuck that. And that's another rule too. Hopefully you don't, no, not a rule, but hopefully you don't got to go through this, but you never blow. If they tell you take a breathalyzer test, be like, no, reject it. All right, hopefully you don't got to get to that stage, but like, reject it. That's game from me. Do not, no. But it comes with a penalty too, though. You'll find out. Hopefully you don't have to, but yeah. Since when I figured out I had the option that I could reject it, I'm like, bet I'm not taking it. Fuck that. Which was the smartest idea I did. Which is a smart idea. So yeah, which was a smart idea. I told him, fuck all that. I ain't doing that shit. So that's when that's when my baby mother came. Blah blah blah. So fast forward, it's like probably 1 o'clock in the afternoon now. I got arrested like at 7:30, 7:45, 8 o'clock in the morning. So I've been there for what, 19? So I've been there for like 4 hours already. So I get released. So I'm like, what about my girl? And then that's when he tells me she can't leave because of probation, because she's on probation. So she will have to see the judge tomorrow morning so they can decide if they're gonna release her or not. And usually when you get released, man, that's a good ass feeling. You're happy, man. I left out like, damn. I think I would have felt better if I would have stayed in and saw a judge too. Just like, not keep her company, but just to, you know, because imagine how she felt. Like, damn, I'm in here and he got to go, and he's the one who's catching the DUI. You know, I ain't never get caught before that, and it's crazy, right? I've been driving drunk for so long, so many times, bro, and I get caught. I don't get caught driving. I get caught fucking asleep. I get caught asleep. I got caught asleep. I didn't get caught driving. You ain't catch me driving because I was driving fucked up. I was asleep. If But anyway, where we at with it? So yeah, I get released. I didn't feel good. I'm like, this is not a happy moment at all. Either way, it wasn't gonna be a happy moment. But I get released, and I'm like, fuck, I ain't. It didn't feel. I think I would have felt better if I would have stayed in there. That way we both whatever in there and whatever. But she got to get it. She got out the next day, which was a good thing. So she got out the next day, and it was a good thing. So that was just like for a 24-hour little scare. I was like, damn, I ain't trying to see her locked up, especially if it was my fault. It was my responsibility. I was supposed to be, as the driver, you're responsible for people in that car. You know what I'm saying? If they get in the car with you, you know what I'm saying? You shouldn't be driving drunk, high as fuck, or whatever the fuck off, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, you shouldn't. Okay, so then what happens? I end up going to court like probably the next month. I didn't get no paid lawyer. I went with a public defender. This public defender was good because I had talked to a lawyer, like a paid lawyer before that, for advice. Not advice, but I talked to him, before you got to give the retainer and all that shit. I had comment, and basically he told me everything the public defender told me. So I was like, shit. I'm like, because I was thinking of because they say in these circumstances you got to get a paid lawyer. So that's what I thought, But I'm like, shit, this public defender seemed like he know what he doing. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna take my chances with him. And guess what? I did a good decision, and I made a good decision, and I saved a lot of money. Because this shit don't come. I still had to spend some money. Don't get it twisted. Not on lawyer fees though. I had to spend on classes, but yeah. So I go to court. I had a DC license. I switched it to Maryland. So they ended up suspending my license, but only in DC. So I can drive in any state. Technically. If they catch me, probably I would have got in trouble, but in DC, it was only suspended in DC. Because I had changed, because I had a different address and I had to change things around. So I switched my license to Maryland. So when they suspended my license, it was in DC only. So I could drive in Maryland. But I think if they would have pulled me over, I would have gotten in some trouble. But yeah, I had to do that. Then I had to take 12 classes of alcohol or some shit like that. You had to pay $45 a class, and I did the math. So after the 12 classes, probably like, I don't know, but it was a lot of money. It was a lot of money. And in that one class I was in, is like 30 other people in there. So that's big money. They want to catch you. And one thing I've realized, everyone that was in there, they wasn't driving drunk. They had either not a similar situation as me, but like none of them were driving drunk. That's crazy. None of them was driving drunk. It's either they fell asleep and they had like a little bit of alcohol. I don't know, it was so much shit, or they were just asleep in their car in a garage, but they didn't touch it. It was so much shit going on, like so much different stories and shit, but none of them they were driving, they were swerving, got pulled over, hopped out the car and was drunk and shit. Like, this shit crazy. But yeah, I had to do that. I also had to take alcohol. I forgot what classes that called, but I had to go take that. And one thing I've realized in there was people got alcoholism issues. People got alcohol issues. Like, there's people that were in there, they're like, oh, I struggle every day to not take a drink, but and I'm like, damn, I'm just here to get my classes out the way, So, and I'm like, fuck, I don't have that kind of problem. Well, at least I thought I didn't. But yeah, then after I had to go to court. So after we settled everything, they said if I plead guilty, they would drop it and do like 40 hours of community service and do this and then blah blah blah. I had court, so that happened like in December, January, when they sentenced or whatever, when they finally did the thing. So I didn't have to go back to court until November, and then I had to come with all this already done. Man, I get a call a week before and said, my public defender called and said, Mr. Sanchez, don't come in today. He said, don't come into court on Tuesday. They dropped the charges. You good? And I'm like, hold up, I still had to do 40. I had to do like fucking hours of community service. He's like, they're dropping it. Don't come, you good. I was like, what? And, they dropped the charges. I didn't go to court, and that was that. And that was that. So that was my story on my first DUI. My advice: if you're drunk as hell, don't drive. Park that somewhere. Call an Uber, call a taxi, but it's not worth it because you won't spend a lot of money. You could kill yourself or you can kill others. You know, drive safe. You can drive, you know, off the, you know. No, I'm playing. Don't drive off nothing. No, I'm playing. Don't drive off nothing. Drive sober and safe. Right? 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 Alright, so that was my story on my first DUI. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Peace out. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I got more stories coming. So let's see. Alright then.